5-time BMX champion, rebel on 2 wheels, a man with the confidence to steer his patients in the right direction. Dr. Gerald Trees, one of 300 iris optometrists across Canada, helping you experience better vision.
It's really a living organism, and if you think of it this way, optics are extremely important, but it's also important how that optical system interacts with the more important mechanism, which is our brain.
Your eyes are an often overlooked part of your health, and yet they are commonly referred to as the windows to your soul. Well, that's partly right, because your eyes are so much more. Let's take a look at how they work.
They're an extension of brain tissue, in essence, and they sit in our skull, in our head, and there's no connective tissue, there's no bone. They're 2 fluid-filled spheres that move around with muscles attached to them. They focus the world that we see, they allow us to orientate around the world, but they're actually quite complex organs that often we don't give the right amount of attention to. The main one is probably the cornea and the lens in the front of the eye, which act like a focusing mechanism to bring light into focus on the retina. The retina then basically acts like a conductor where it sends the signal or the visual flow to our brain. Amazingly, the brain actually does the seeing. The eye is really the conduit to which the information gets to the retina. The real beauty about the optical system of the eye is we have a cornea that is aspheric, so it basically tries to reduce the amount of distortions in terms of what we see, and then you have a lens inside the eye which actually controls how much focusing we need depending on what distance that we're doing tasks.
The 2 largest brain maps we all have are the occipital lobes, one for the right eye, one for the left, and they occupy the space at the back of your head.
So actually the eye can be a really interesting conduit in terms of your overall general health. They're absolutely essential. I mean, if you look at how we navigate the world around us, we're driving, there's peripheral targets coming into our vision, just basic functioning in the world, it's about anywhere from 70 to 80% of our ability to function is visual in nature. And if you think about what you do on a daily basis, think about from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, when are you not using your vision? Our visual system has to be able to act like a sonar in order for us to judge how far away objects are from us. And I think probably the single best advice that I give to a lot of my patients is, look after your eyesight. It really is precious, and it's like the old cliche, you don't miss something until you lose it.
Millions of Canadians aren't seeing all that life has to offer, and many don't even realize it. To your iris doctor of optometry, the solution to experience better vision is more than just a prescription. It's about your unique profile, what your eyes live through every day. See the iris difference. Start your iris profile at iris.ca.
Did you know that your eyes are the only part of your body that do not have any natural protection? And that makes them extremely vulnerable, especially to harmful UV rays. Thankfully, sunglasses were invented.
So UV or ultraviolet rays are what we all know because it causes burns on the skin, can cause skin cancer, can cause cancer on the eyelids, can cause growths on the whites of the eye. can stimulate the formation of cataracts, which causes you to lose vision, and can even stimulate or damage the back part of the eye and cause or contribute to macular degeneration.
We all need to be careful, but people with light-colored eyes need to be extra careful when it comes to the sun. That's because they don't have as much pigment in their eyes, and that lack of pigmentation makes it more difficult to absorb UV. So what do you do? Well, start by wearing a hat with a brim. It's good for your eyes, and it's good for the skin on your face, but that's just the start.
As you have a brim, it's going to block rays coming from the sun, if the sun especially is in its highest position in the sky. However, what it won't do is protect you from reflected light or reflected glare. So surfaces like the road, pavement, water, snow will reflect not only glare, which is something that you have to consider with sun protection as well, but those invisible harmful UV rays will certainly intensify.
In other words, you need sunglasses. But not just any sunglasses. You need lenses that protect your eyes from harmful UV and blue light. Here are a few things to keep in mind. Look for 100% UV protection. Check for blue light protection to protect the back of the eye, which allows you to see more clearly. Ensure that they're polarized to reduce glare. You're going to want to have an anti-reflection coating, but you may not realize that this must be applied to the back of the lens where your eyes are under attack from above and behind. You want to make sure you've got the right level and color of tint. You want ophthalmic quality lenses that are strong and safe for all of your activities. And you're going to want to make sure that they have a comfortable fit and wrap so that when you wear them, they stay in place.
We know you've got sunglasses that are providing substandard UV protection, and then I see changes in the eye, early changes, thickening to the whites of the eyes, anything that is showing that UV is a factor, then we're going to understand, we're going to be able to connect the dots.
The only way to really know if your sunglasses are protecting you is to take them to an eye care professional and have them tested.
There is a very strong link between the nutrition or the nutrients we absorb and how healthy our eyes are. Actually, lots of nutrients are key to our functioning, the functions of our eyes. You need certain pigments to make the visual signal function better. You need some omega-3s for the same reason. The nutrients are actually part of the chemical reactions in the eyes.
So let's get right to it. What are the nutrients we need to keep our eyes healthy? And what foods can we get those nutrients from?
Eggs contain lutein. Although they don't contain a large amount of lutein, the lutein that's in them gets transported really well to the eye because of the fat in the eggs. Kiwi contains vitamin E, vitamin C, actually more vitamin C than you would imagine from that little fruit. We looked at the contents of many nutrients, including vitamin C, lutein, zeaxanthin, zinc, vitamin E, and what we found is that there was significantly more vitamin C in orange peppers and even in the other colors of peppers than in the citrus fruit.
Let's talk protein. Did you know that omega-3 fatty acids found in cold water fish can help prevent cataracts, macular degeneration, and dry eye disease? Lean meats are recommended. However, there is not a ton of research that suggests avoiding red meat completely is the way to go because it does contain zinc. But here's something else to keep in mind.
Diets that are high in saturated fats can be detrimental for cardiovascular health. We've researched the link between various health problems with eye health. We noticed that cardiovascular health and eye health have a lot of similarities. So avoiding lots of saturated fats is a good idea.
A lot of the foods you want to avoid for your eye health make sense from a general health perspective as well. But there's a little bit more to it than that.
Studies have shown that diets that are high in foods that have a high glycemic index, such as refined flours, sugar, etc., can cause damage in terms of cataracts and macular degeneration.
So when it comes to eating for your eyes, remember to include whole grains, beta-carotene, and antioxidants with the essential vitamins and minerals. But as for that old myth about carrots helping your eyesight,
no foods are going to prevent you from needing to wear glasses. Let's make that very clear. You're not going to see more lines of letters necessarily at the eye doctors, but those pigments, as well as they protect, they also filter the light.